say.
I don't know, but this is awkward.
Yes!
Hello, and welcome to the Seattle Maker Podcast, episode 11. Hey, we're full screen now.
There
That's
we are.
great.
We found ourselves over the break. Happy
Yeah.
New Year, everyone.
Yes, very much. What'd you do for New Year?
Oh, watch fireworks. Dropped one off the balcony. Put it out just in time. But everyone survived.
Okay, you're not gonna blitz past that easily. Like you had a mortar and it fell off a balcony rail? Or?
No, just sparklers. We're doing time lapse 2020. The
Okay.
skyline. It was nice. No fireworks this year for the Space Needle, unfortunately, because of the wind advisory. So they just canceled it and blinked the lights on the Space Needle.
That would be the most.
It's a little anticlimactic.
That would be the most disappointing, pyrotechnic job. Just like, we're gonna blow some things up, and then the time 10 minutes before, hey, sorry, we just gotta blink the lights. No explosions.
Yeah.
I hope they still paid them.
Oh, I'm sure. It was probably a pretty penny.
It was. I imagine at that point the work would be insured. Anyway, on to the show and tell and stuff. So Raspberry Pi 4, that's relatively old news as far as maker stuff goes. But the board is out. It's an impressively spec'd Raspberry Pi at 1.5 gigahertz of processing speed and up to 4 gigs of RAM. But I did some looking into that and kind of catching up today. On launch, they had an error with the Wi-Fi, where if you run the screen at its maximum resolution of 4K, then it will interfere with Wi-Fi channel 1. And I'm not a very Wi-Fi expert guy, but that pretty much tells me, I think channel 1 is used for your addressing services and telling you where stuff has to go.
But one of the main features that people are going to buy
For the Wi-Fi.
the Pi 4 is now not working with Wi-Fi. I mean the 4K.
Well,
the 4K was a big upgrade.
Yeah. Honestly, I still draw the line at 720p. I recommend if you're starting a video project or something, don't start trying to shoot in 4K. The only reason that
shooting.
Yeah, well, for shooting or for this podcast happens to be in full HD because we just had an HD camera lying around and our processing power happens to support it and we don't have to do any editing. But
Yeah.
if I'm shooting an adventure video or an off-road video, I usually shoot in 720. The files are that much smaller. It looks good. The 720 is about the lower limit where if you have a projector in a assembled person's size room, like a theater or a church or whatever, it'll still look good.
Yeah, and there's still a large percentage of the internet that's watching this on phones and at that size. At the same time, you want to be future-proof. I mean, people are going to be watching this years to come with
and showing this to their
20K
children,
displays
and their children's children, and their children's 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 children's. But
many generations.
I don't know. There's a point to wanting to stretch yourself to and make a 4K tablet out of a Raspberry Pi 4 just for the sake of making a 4K tablet and figuring out what that is. I don't know.
But I get you with the processing power. We started with a laptop and we just could not edit anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was just rendering for hours until it crashed.
Yeah.
And so starting things off, definitely recommend going smaller. But they're gonna fix that bug, right?
The last news that I could find was that they said a firmware update will fix it. But yeah,
fingers crossed.
I don't know. As I said, if anyone has bought one and knows more on that situation, yell at us, inform us. We're not above being informed. But yeah, Raspberry Pi 4. If you want Wi-Fi and 4K at the same time, don't. Or just wire it in.
There you go.
If it's stationary,
Easy.
just wire it. Other things that I found that was really cool in news, and I wanted to bring this one up because I thought it was an interesting design thing, was this dude made a keychain phone holder that's pretty much just a laser cut piece of wood with something to attach your keychain to. And if you want to jump to the next slide there, there we are. One moment. Loading.
Anticipation. There we are.
So this is what it does. It solves the problem of I have my phone and I want to watch it while I eat my cereal, but there's nothing to prop it against.
Serious problem these days.
Yeah. Well, human interface problems are always a thing. Because this is a lot easier to carry around than, like, in my opinion, one of those barnacle things that pops out the back of a phone that, you know, half the time works and half the time you set your phone up and then it all goes flat again, and you do that 3 or 4 times until your friends get annoyed and one of them just holds the phone for you.
Right.
But I think there's a better route than this.
I had a great case that had a little stand. It broke off immediately, but it was 3D printable, so you could just print about 5 of them, carry those in your pocket, and you were set. Super convenient.
Yeah.
Not quite. But
what I wondered with this is my phone, which I don't have. Here we go. Which is in bad shape, but my phone here has the metal on the back for like a magnetic car mount, and I thought you might be able to do that with like the stick and then just like a magnet kind of size thing. I wonder if you could build this into a carabiner.
Yeah.
Because I love having like the carabiner key clip, and then if you could fit it, the thing is, you get so much stuff on your keychain.
Actually, I just saw something on Pinterest. It was this great little doorstop where you pull the door and it had a magnet on it, so it would just like pop up and hold it, and then you pull the door away and it would be flat and flush. So when we're kicking doorstops around.
Interesting.
But you could do something similar. Maybe you have like a flat piece, and then it folds in 3 directions into a triangle and holds on to like a magnet.
Yeah.
I don't know if that translates, but maybe we'll have to make one and show it on the next.
That's what I'm thinking is like
next podcast.
Next week or 2, I won't promise, and if you want like hardcore updates, you should be checking the Instagram, because that's where we'll do like the current stuff.
Reinventing the phone stand.
Yeah.
Next week.
I mean, this is a perpetual problem, right? But, you know, every take on it is going to have a different level of like the presentation of it and the functionality of it and what it does and doesn't do and all that sort of thing. So, long story short, yeah, this is showing up. This is going to be a design thing.
We're going to get those phones standing upright.
Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Speaking of which, we could use the SLA printer to make one of those.
We could. Great segue, Ted.
Yay.
We just got our 3D printers up and working. This SLA, we had to pour our own new silicone layer for the laser to shoot through, because we let it sit for quite a while. And what did we use? Smooth on?
I don't know. I wasn't involved.
The one that's made for silicone for photovoltaic panels or solar panels. So it's made to let a lot of light through. We had to mix some of that up, lay it down, test a few things, clean it out, and after about 4 months of trying to get that thing to work, we got our Form 1 printing. And so we have a couple of example D&D characters. Actually, we have photos of them. We'll just switch to those. Throw
that dark, evil mage up there. Here's the thing that I want to point out about this, is we've had FDM Prusa i3 printers in the space for a while. And those are relatively accurate. You can get about plus or minus 0.010 of an inch.
And those are the standard ones that squirt out plastic and lay it down.
Exactly.
Fused deposition manufacturing.
Yeah.
For the uninitiated.
This thing here that's actually working by shooting a laser into a vat of resin and then moving up a layer and then doing that. You see that finger on that mage character there? There is no way that you are going to get an FDM printer, however dialed in, to do that fine of a detail.
Oh, and we've tried. Jonah has tried with this. He has like, I don't know, a dozen Chun-Lis with just messed up, mangled faces. It's a strong effort, Jonah.
Yeah. If you want to go to a painted figure here, this one I put the ruler behind just so you can get an idea of a scale. That's a standard like 1-inch base mini. And it's just got a layer of Home Depot primer on it. You could get even more even coats if you had an authentic model primer on there. or so my geeky miniature friends tell me. I've never tried personally, but yeah, like this was one of the things that a lot of people asked me about when I first got my 3D printer was, hey, can I do minis on it? And it was like, well, you can, but that would be a lot of cornstarch if you tried to do that as a dissolvable guy, and a lot of dialing in versus, we've done 8, 10 of those on the Formlabs since having it. Yeah, if we want to, here, let's show these in all their 3-dimensional glory here. The camera's not really focusing, but this is like the Orc Mohawk dude.
Get a backdrop.
There we are. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, exciting step. We've talked about the Formlabs and the SLA printing on the podcast a few times in the realm of like, hey, if you want to help, come push this over to the finish line. Well, it's there. Arrival. Done.
Made it happen. And we're going to have a couple different ways to get your print done. We will be taking outside requests for printing if you're not a member. We'll have a different price point for that versus being a member versus taking the class to learn about 3D printing. There's not a lot of carryover from the FDM or FFF type squirting plastic type of 3D printing. So we identified the 4 main things you need to think through, and we're going to have a little class on designing for 3D printing, building your supports for the SLA. And then we'll probably have 1 day a week where we just load up a bunch of prints, and that'll be the cheapest way to do it. So your print will come out with everybody's, and it will run like all day long.
You can just save support material.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Speaking of classes, we wanted to highlight our electronics meetups. On Tuesday, we have ones for Raspberry Pi and Arduino, respectively, on the 7th and 14th. And those are free.
Yeah. Donations welcome.
Yes. Give Jeremy some money. He deserves it. He works way too hard.
Well, we're going to be using it to build out our electronics store. So some of the Raspberry Pi 4s, more microcontrollers, things like that. That's what electronics meetups go towards. So also let us know what you want to see in a local store, so you don't have to wait for 2 weeks every time you fry a board on your project. We hope to have everything here so you can just pick one up and keep going on your project.
Do you have touchscreens?
We do. We have 3 different sizes. So
I did not know that. I kind of expected to not get a positive answer to that question. That was risky. You have come through, sir.
Yeah.
Let me shake your hand.
We're all set. What are you going to build with it?
Now
you have
nothing.
Okay.
I just wanted to know if you had one in case I wanted to build something.
All right. Well, it's there for you.
Okay. Good to know. Besides that, yeah, that's the class thing.
Yeah.
Anything else you...
Well, all your standard classes.
Yeah.
They're on the calendar. If you want to come get a membership, learn some laser cutting, 3D printing, all that stuff's on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Moving right along to...
Community Health Report.
So we are now at 73. Actually, we have one in process, so I'm going to say 74 members. It's very exciting. Getting closer to 100. Hoping for a strong January. And we've been open for
853 days with a goal of forever. So yeah, good. Kind of a good bit of news. The last few bits have been like, people went away, and now it's like people are coming back. More people come back. Tell your friends. We want more members. We want to be expanding into the downstairs as soon as possible. So
yeah, and just today we got some really cool classes we're setting up. We're going to have more gaming stuff, more woodworking things. We got 2 groups coming to learn basic woodworking tool skills. We have a wallet maker who wants to put on courses. You can make your own wallet, laser etch it. So more to come.
Yeah. And more to come on the social media as always. This podcast has been an awesome journey and will continue to be an awesome journey. But I'm always struck by the amount of things that happen in the space that I can't capture in 20 to 30 minutes. So if you want to see more, there is the Instagram, as always, down in the description. Besides that, have a wonderful night, day, evening, year, and decade.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time.
Yes!